Vicpotesis. I haven't done this. Anyway, doesn't matter when or how. So, I'll just have some clarity, at least as far as I'm concerned, on a couple things. And that is that we all fall back to what we know, right? In my opinion. If you agree, yes. If not, no, it's up to you. I don't care. So, we fall back to this point. And whatever it is for everybody is different. And some people it's multiple points. Actually a combination of a point, depending on. And so what I'm saying is this. If somebody wears a red hat and that's all they have is the red hat people, they stop there. If somebody wears some multiple colors or whatever the people they fall back, they stop there. Or if somebody just whatever they are, however you want to categorize them, color, whatever, cultures, whatever you want to do, they go back to that level, right? So then, from within that level, some people of those levels of those people, my hypothesis is that some people do come together, knowingly or unknowingly, and that is those that fall back into the good book, in my perspective. Even though they're coming from different perspectives or directions, they're all headed toward the same thing, that book, and the knowledge in it, as far as they're concerned. Everybody may not think that way, but these people do, and that's okay, because that's their right to think that way, right? The problem is when you go back the other way to the making your interpretations. But now we're getting to a point where they're not going to have a choice to make it because all their interpretations are wrong. And here's why I say this, is because they wouldn't be falling back into that book. The only time people fall back into that book is when they're in time of need or dire times. Why is that? One, why did the people do that? And two, why are they doing that now? And why are all these different people, everybody in that circle I spoke about, and there's a lot more, I know, 90% of them are falling back on that. Whatever their, maybe not the good book, but whatever their essence is, that's what they're falling back to. You see, so like I would be falling back all the way to the essence of my mother, of everything she taught me all my life, and fall back on that. However, saying that, within that, the good book was part of it. So that would be a thing that also, if I got to that point. So, but in the end, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to get there, right? To whatever it is. Because then if they, let's say they don't do that. Let's say they do not fall back on the good book. Okay, what are some of the options? Become more racist or become more racist. And with that, doing more mischievous things, and then at some point, acts of violence. And then who knows where that stops, right? Acts of depravity against other people. Hey, it works for all society, but, there's people of whatever race, color, culture, religion you want to call them, that don't fall back on that if they end up in a circumstance, sometimes it may be beyond their control, I don't know, but sometimes it's beyond their control at the time when it is, and they don't have the capacity to deal with it, and they keep falling deeper into the despair. But then what do they lead to? Homelessness, drugs, fighting, and here's the part that affects everybody: stealing, because they have to survive. And without a job, what are they going to do? And without some kind of, as people would call it, a handout, what are they going to do? They're gonna get what they need to get, or they're gonna die trying. It's just nature, human nature, right? It's like this thing I saw on I don't know, one of these videos, and they asked the question. I'm sure you guys seen it before. Okay, here's the final question of your traffic test, driver's license. Little old boy's crossing the street, and an old man. What do you hit? And then the lady says, the old man, because the little boy, he's got his whole life to live, right? The old man. And the guy's like, no, the brake. The brake. Now, in saying that, if you would have saw that they said, what do you hit, as opposed to who do you hit, then you see, there's a little communication problem there. And that's what happens in these things. We just hear what we want to hear. And that was a little tangent, but a little nugget for whoever, not for me. So, you just keep go back to that, and that's what you do. But then they're going to have people stealing, right? And that's going to be an issue. And then robbing, whatever, breaking in, squatting at places, all these different things, all because of whatever prejudice we all, because it's not just one person, it has to at some point be collectively everybody. Because if it wasn't, in my opinion, humble opinion, which I'm sure I will be, persecuted for this, but not persecuted, like, you're full of shit, whatever, but I don't care. Because if these people, whoever the people we oppose, or whoever opposes us, or whichever side we're on, if we can't talk to each other and tell each other, and then at some point just say, hey, just like anything, I was wrong, I was right, or no need to say it, let's just move on from here. That's it. Because in the end it affects us all. Even though we say, well, they don't see we're in the same boat, they could be saying the same thing about us. And so nobody will do anything about the leak. Because we're worried about the boat and what direction it's heading in, as opposed to the leak that we need to stop. Because until we fix that leak, we can't change direction. Well, I guess we could. We can go from on top of the water to underneath, a nosedive. See, so that's the Vicpotesis, and you all have a great weekend, and know the Creator's great. I'm just so happy that at times that I can just appreciate Him for everything I've received. And everything I'm sure I will or won't, but it doesn't make a difference, because whatever I receive is fine. You gotta take care of yourself and your family. Stay alert, stay alive.